Welcome back, guys. Today I was deciding to actually draw someone's OC because I was really curious on trying to draw someone's OC. So I was thinking of these people, but I also was thinking of other people to draw because I was really curious of trying new characters because I mostly focus on doing Kano Quest, and I thought, yeah, what the hell, why don't we try something new rather than just sticking to the normal. For now, I'm still debating what the heck a route I'm actually doing. Because for now I'm very confused myself, but I think I've seen a bit that I actually want to do. And I'll probably make it today. I like Vicky, but the problem is I don't want to because she actually says that she will draw my... Wait, let me draw your OC, yes. I'm thinking how I can actually draw. I literally draw my OC, blah blah blah. Draw my OC in your style. Oh, this is super old. Okay. You are... Okay. Can someone please draw one of my OCs? What are your OCs? Super cute OCs. Sorry, I couldn't something. I could do this. This is kind of cute. And I really find it adorable. But I was mostly thinking of this one because it kind of reminds me of Denki Kaminari. If you don't know who I mean, he actually is an electric user in MHA. Yes, MHA, I used to watch it. I do watch it still. I'm just not a huge fan anymore like I used to be. So, without further ado, let's just jump in. My idea is mostly to use Denki Kaminari as an inspiration for this idea, which is going to be actually fun drawing. And also, since we're here, we might as well do Gojo. If you don't know Gojo, Gojo is from JJK. From what I know, far as I know, because I'm not into the fandom and the whole shenanigans, I'm thinking that he's some kind of sorcerer. I think. I don't know anything. I remember last time just playing VR and I was just guessing who the heck Rue is everyone. And funny enough, there was this guy who was a skeleton, he was running around me, and I was just trying to get away, and I was like, get away! I was like, no, stop following me! And what the heck happened was that he legit followed me, and then he was like, I got a phone to fix you, and I was like, you don't have any boner! And it was a whole case scenario. But that was a funny situation. But yes, I'm planning actually using Denki as an inspiration for the hair, because this boy has the right hair for this character. And since this person actually posts them that way, I'm going to try and find a pose that exactly says that. I don't know what his personality is. Wait, do we have any description about what his personality is? Please, guys, draw my human OC in a better one. I beg you, please.
Because you can see everyone's holiday snaps and feel like you're
I will
there,
draw
even
them,
though
but
you're
I
not
don't
there.
know.
Yeah.
What is the age of the character?
The fun never ends with unlimited social
I
media
saw
on
your OC
Voxy
and
Mobile.
the sword. Wait,
Select the
do
social
you
apps
have
and
any
UK
more
TNCs
drawings
apply.
of your OC? No, they have more robots. Da. What's the story? I need to check it out because I don't know if this character has a sword or not, because they said I saw your OC and the sword in your random sketches, so I drew your OC with the sword. What color is the sword handle? And they never replied. I know it's probably the oldest. Yeah, it was in March 3rd of 2013. Are they still on the line? No. It seems like this is inactive. That's fine. It's not like I'm going to say it's my character. It's not my character at all. But pretty much we have Denki here. My other inspiration, Gojo. Where is Gojo? Parlor, we don't need to learn about that. You don't need to learn about that. Okay. There we go, we get... Well, I almost wrote Ghetto Suguru. Oh my god. I swear that is not on my mind. Anything but that is not on my mind. Okay, there we go. We have his... devious eyes? I wouldn't say gorgeous. I beg to differ. I remember that there was a kid once, and I was in VR, right? Hear me out. I was in VR, and they were actually dressed as Gojo Satoru, and they were talking and complaining about their back. And I was like, why were you leaning against the wall? And they're like, oh, because it actually was really comfortable first. And the next thing, they're like, oh, but it was painful the next. And I was like, we're getting you invested a back chair then for you. I don't know how that was funny, but apparently that was funny. And they were like, oh, he was like, this girl. And I was like, really? I was like, that wasn't even funny. I was just attempting a joke. And I was all of a sudden doing this accent for some reason. I don't know. And yes, if you don't know what I was doing, I'm gonna show you. Wait, VR chat. Log in. Ah! Really? Mind me. I'm just doing this for a moment. Okay, wait a second. I just need to quickly log into this before we can actually continue. I'm watching this start playing on my YouTube. Do not mind what the heck I'm doing here. I don't know either. Okay, I'm just looking in to show you where exactly I was last time. So if you ever feel like hopping onto VR, I can actually do that. Home, yes. JJK, there we go. And I will show you the one I was in. You don't need to see my replies. There we go, I was in this one. This one was actually fun, but I'll tell you the saddest part. When I was trying to join other servers, like you see all these people, wow, yes. And then I went to these servers. I tried to join the group ones because they have a bunch of people they had. And the worst thing is they didn't accept, and I was like, why? I was like, so many people are there, why won't you let me socialize? And I was like, what did I do? I'm just a doofus little child trying to look for something to do devious. And then they're like, no. Like, why? I remember this also, like, I'm planning to make an animation meme about all my situations in VR, which is crazy enough. But I know that the server did not allow me to actually join the biggest server, and I was like, no, why won't this group accept me? It was honestly, imagine you're on Valentine's Day and you don't get a Valentine's card. It was legit that experience with me. And I was like, why? And I'm like, why do you not want this child to join you? And for the records, I'm 17, so I won't be actually doing any more of that say. But this is pretty much how I looked, and I couldn't even put my own avatar. Do you believe this? I was so upset though. I was like, why can't I be my own avatar? Like this group, for example, I think they accepted me. That's the only reason they accepted me. They were like pitying me. They're like, oh, poor child, we might as well just get her in. And yes, this is the only service I've been on. I have also a reminder. I was once on VR, right? Hear me out. I was on VR. And what happened was that while I was on VR, at the time, I was actually really short because it malfunctioned my height to the point that I was a size of a bloody dwarf. Yes, that type of dwarf. I was the size of a mythical dwarf. And I saw like Gojo behind like the bar, and I was really small, and I was behind like the fence. I think I was behind like the bar. Wait, I think I can show you which bar I was in. Vaguely. Because I remember being at the bar. I don't remember, is it a pub place or is it not? I think it was a very important place. Discover Worlds. I don't remember how it's called, but it was like the little bar where you got to actually have lots of stuff. There's been lots of people on there, and it was a whole thing. I think it may or may not have been Black Cat. Maybe. It could have been Black Cat. Yeah, it was Black Cat, because I was upstairs where there was this bench. I was upstairs, and there was this like furry interacting with me, and he was actually very nice, even if I did not understand how the thing he was talking about, because he was really new, and I was just like, hello, and everything. And I saw Gojo, and I was like, wild Gojo ahead! Did I do anything about it? No, because I was too short, and I was like, damn. You know what I'm gonna do? And I just ran around and completely grabbed every single object I could find. Can you imagine like little me just running around and just grabbing like this? I wasn't even a witch. I think I was just like I don't remember which model I was, but I was some kind of model that made me really short. So I was around, let's say, 2 feet tall. That would be a funny predicament. And should I say that I do put a fake accent on that I sound more British than now? Probably I sound American. But pretty much that was the case, and it was just hilarious as heck. Because I was like, please, please, don't notice me, Gojo. I'm too short for this. But yeah, that was an experience. For this actual drawing, I was thinking of actually doing Gojo. It reminded me of Gojo the Blue Eyes. How dare you, 2013. And I'll probably still link it to them and be like, yeah, this is your character and everything. I'll dip it down into actually the description. Whoever OCs it is. Wait, let me check their name before I actually just say whoever this was. And this was Derek Ramanes. Or Ramanes. But yeah, they still keep the properties because it's not my character. Don't mind Jinx. Okay, I'm just checking the video how many minutes we have left on, so I'm not just chattering away my ass. Okay, what pose are we looking for? I don't know what personality this character is. I'm guessing a little bit smirky. So probably I don't want to say the word because I'm probably not allowed on YouTube. What's another word for it? They're probably very snarky. There you go. Snarky and probably sarcastic, so... Wait, body pose. We want sarcastic, and we want one that is free. We don't want to actually nap anyone who actually has the rights to it. Because I don't want to be a little, you know, a snoodle dump. Okay. No, this is as if they're leaning off the goddamn building. This one looks too prideful. It's like, come on, come at me. With all you got, buddy. They had a sword, apparently. Someone said that they had a sword, so my best bet, we need a sword. Not like Legend of Zelda, but you know what I mean. Okay. Yeah, no, this kind of looks like it would be in Jujutsu Kaisen. Or, I don't know, One Piece. I don't know much about One Piece. I remember getting into One Piece. I wasn't really interested in Bo, because I get some of the characters. I know a few characters. I can name them. For example, I know there's the obvious Sanji. There's also Zoro, Luffy. Who else? There's Mihawk. There's also Blackbeard, Whitebeard. And then there's also other characters. There's also probably some kind of Nami or Naminimi. And then that's all the characters I know, or at least I can name. I'm thinking, do these people? Wait, do they want them full body? No, they want. Yeah, they're split. They want them full body. Okay, that makes my job 10 times harder than it should be. But alrighty, we don't want a woman's pose. We want a male's. I know you can change a woman into a man, but listen, it's very hard for me because I follow the instructions on the manual rather than do my own thing. I'm more of a follower than an actual rebeller. Okay. There we go, we have something figured out. I'm thinking of this pose because it's similar. I know it's supposed to be more closed up, but the arm is closer to the actual, you know, waist. I think that's the waist.
Now
I don't know my body part.
To sell for free
Probably
on
the
eBay.
hip bone.
I was thinking.
Can you imagine this? I am Denki Kaminari.
The shirt I've been
Wait, how does
saying
Denki
I'll wear for the
Kaminari
last
speak
2
again?
years, but never have.
Oh, I should probably
that
not be
tiger
checking.
pushing the dog box out every time he's in the lounge.
Oh goodness, I
is
should
that it
probably
again?
not be checking.
No, Bertie.
Kaminari voice. Can I actually copy his voice? Wait. I know we're getting sidetracked, but hear me out. Can I do the dub version? How does he speak him? That's not you.
Garbage. You're gonna regret the day you applied to this school, you loser! I'm no help in this situation. You've got to get us out of here.
I'm no help in this situation. Oh, sorry. I probably can't. I can do Floppy though. It's like,
Ribbit. Deku-chan, I think we should be careful of the situation, Ribbit.
I can definitely do Floppy. I can only do her. And I can do, ho-ho! It's me, Mickey Mouse! The clubhouse! Ho-ho! Sucks, Goofy! I think we need new clinic! I can do that kind of voices. Oh, also there's that voice like, what was that like little balloon kid? It was from FNAF, and it was like, uh-oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I'm gonna do a sneaky thing and find you contender in the ring. Yeah, there we go. It was this character I can do. I can do all her voice lines, Dee Dee's. I can just be like,
uh-oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. I'm gonna do a sneaky thing and find you contender in the ring.
Or pretty much I can do that voice. Anything but isn't actually another voice I can do. What other voice? I don't know. And no other voice I can actually do for any character. Like I can speak very dark, like an unhuman morbid thing. But I'm incapable of actually speaking an other type. You know what I mean? I can speak in many tongues, because I have a serpent's tongue. But yeah, pretty much, let's not get sidetracked further, because I feel like we're going in a loophole. And we won't be coming back from that. I'll be reminding you. Also, I like the outfit, but I think we could work more with it. Because they haven't said what he wears. Yes, we know what he wears. But I'm thinking what I can actually add to the swords. I want to add more texture to the swords. Yes, I'm being picky with that. Also, the hair, you know that... Get out of here. I was thinking of putting these side by side. And we're going to quickly click these off. First I'm going to focus on this. What eye structure we need to focus on? Wait. Yeah, something around Denki Kaminaris. First we're gonna put this around, probably 62. If you're wondering also what I'm using Krita because I actually use the mouse, which is easier for me to draw without having any further issues involved. Okay, first of all, we're going to focus on the face shape. Do they have an exact shape? Because I don't want to be rude. Okay, they have like a sharp. So we're going to focus on sharpness. Do I want to make this move? I probably want to do this now. Because I feel like I'm being a little gremlin, not actually listening to the rules for once. And people are going to be like, break the rules! And I'm like, no, the rules are there for a reason! Like William T. Spears, I will follow them! Until death do come. Okay, we're gonna put... His eyes are very droopy. I'm guessing he's supposed to be, like, sneering at you. Yeah, it's probably that. I'm thinking how I can just portray this more. I'm thinking of, you know, the eye. Excuse me, Pinky. You shall not need this eye. This eye shall be mine now. Because you have the same structure as this character. And since they have joined, I'm going to join it. Which is a little bummer because I actually like separating my eyes, but okay. And I'm going to draw this with a double click. There we go. Then you connect this little eye. Goes, there I am. Okay. Out you go. There's the eye. We copy it and then we're going to Yes, I did copy tool. Like me, if you actually want to. But I'm a little rebel and I will live as a rebel until death do come. And I want to actually match the eye thingy, so I think I'm going to need to make this like a little bit more cut in. This reminds me of Ghetto. That's me? No, Ghetto. Oh, goodness gracious. What is the Ghetto thing obsession now? What was his name? Gaiatrol? Demon Slayer. I think it's Gaiatrol. No, it's not Gaiatrol. It was the other one. What's his name? I forgot all those goddamn Demon Slayer characters. What was the little boy's name? Shogun there. I think that should probably... I think that was Genya. Yeah, there you go. I remembered it a couple seconds before. It reminds me of Genya because... Wait, where's the eye thing? There we go. There. See what I mean? It reminds me of Genya. The eye. Yes, I'm using mostly inspirations for what I actually remember and what character I mostly detail back to. Oh, we're going to increase the brush because the brush looks too squiggly. I need to look at how do they portray Genya. Okay, so the eyes are full, but here, as we see, there's a little curve, then we have the splitting. Do I want to do the same? The question is. So they just like split it and then they just like do this, and they leave a little bit of lines to make him more wrinkles. I know this character's supposed to be young, but hear me out. Whenever you actually narrow your eyes, you do have wrinkles underneath them. And I know that, I'll just tell you a crazier story. I remember that I always do like these little nibs, right? Hear me out, I do these nibs. And then my teacher last time, she said to me, oh, why do you always do the nibs? And I was like, because that's my drawing style. And then she's like, oh, I don't understand. Legit, she was so angry because I only do that. And I was like, I can fix it if you want, but give me a break. I'm trying to actually catch up with everything. It was a whole dilemma because she kept complaining about it. And I was like, I was just drawing it. It helps me actually keep a radar if I'm not actually drawing out of line. And then you have just the complaining, yada yada yada. Which is very discouraging in my opinion. Because I wasn't even like, I remember I was mostly drawing, first I was drawing my anime, right? Because I'm focused on Kano Quest, which took me 2 years about. I'm still doing it, and you can actually see it for yourself. It's free, and you can read it on Devinart. warning, it is actually a little bit more cryptic and poetic. It's not really for people who are lighthearted also because it actually contains yokai, monsters, and some people don't really like horror, so I'm going to keep that in mind rather than just being like, yeah, totally, just check my whole website out and just be like, yeah, it's totally for everyone. I'm not everyone's cup of tea after all, so you have to keep that in mind and bear it with witness that actually you can take whether you like it or not. I mostly made it because I'm looking to actually allow people to look into themselves and learn more about themselves without feeling as if they're stuck in one place in time and they're like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this and I'm not allowed to actually think more deeper levels. I'm encouraging people to think outside the box because what's the deal with actually thinking inside the box? We're single people who can actually choose our own destinies and we can actually build our own worlds. And if you ask, yes, long time ago, I remember in December, something 11th or 18th in 2023, I actually made Kano Quest and I remember sending it to a studio. Did they reply? No. They ignored me completely. That's why then afterwards I decided, I was like, okay, since they don't want me, and I was like, screw it, I'll do my own manga. And yes, my manga contains textures. Why? Because I have this issue with my eyes that I can't actually view manga, which means my eyes are too hyperactive. And I don't know, I think it's light sensitivity, but that's the thing. It doesn't affect my eyes in different ways. I think it could be light sensitivity because, for example, I can look at a manga for you. I can look at the pictures, but then it actually hurts my eyes and I have to look away because it's really painful for me to look at it. It's same for color ones. I can't look at these. But if it's a movie version, I can look at it. That's the problem here we're having. Am I blind? No, I'm not blind or anyway. It's just because I have an issue with my eyes and I can't read manga. Since that, I had to do actually textured versions to be able to make my own to read. That means if someone actually says, oh, do you know that this happened in the manga? I'll be like, no, I didn't actually. And I was like, thank you for informing me. That's why pretty much I was really shocked when, for example, people said, oh, did you know Deku had this, and then in this actual manga, and this is the evidence here. I was like, no, I didn't know, because I can't actually read it myself. Yes, that actually does mean that I can read manga, and I never read manga in my whole life, which is probably really saddening if you think about it, because I can't read manga at all. That's why I actually have textures in my manga to help me actually read. Because that way my eyes are distracted by the whole textures and I don't focus on anything else. For example, in movies, they constantly change frames that actually allows me to pay attention rather than to the surroundings, which can be slow-paced or quick-paced. Without actually worrying about being like, oh my god, I can't actually see anything. But when it's a really bright white page, I remember posting that on Devinart because I was like, guys, can you not make it actually bright for me? Sometimes I can't actually see. Or can you make it that there's two images and be like, okay, here's a darker version and here's a lighter version. I can't see your art. I may like it, but I won't be able to see it. It's not the case that also that it's supposed to be in the dark that I don't see it. I see it properly, but I can't just look at it. Because my eyes hurt. Even if I lower the screen brightness. And no, it's not the proper screen as well, because I've tried many times reading other things like stories, normal writing, without actually drawings and just a picture, and it was fine. Because I don't know anymore. I think it's mostly because the brightness maybe actually maybe hurts my eyes, or maybe it's because I don't know, maybe it's just not on my vibe, because it's not distracting enough. And also, in the talk of it, light sensitivity, I'm actually pretty much sensitive to noise as well. Ironically enough, that means, for example, if I'm reading something, I can still pay attention to my surroundings, and that's the flaw I have here. So that means if someone walks past me, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, hi, hello, and you can tell in my videos sometimes, if you actually check them out, now usually you can hear me talking to someone, because then I forget that I'm actually recording the video. And I'm just like, oh, hey, yeah. And I was like, oh, get the rat out of here. Because we have pet rats, by the way. So usually it's hard for me to pay attention to what I'm doing. So right now, you would be wondering, well, how are you speaking so confidently? Because I'm thinking that I'm also supposed to do my manga, but also I'm thinking of doing my art for tommorow. So yes, I have double picks there and there. And also I'm considering continuing to play Pixel because I have to check if everything's working properly because I've had some errors in the past. and I still gotta get those fixed. And when I'm fixed on that, then I can actually properly play it without issues. But usually I'm just checking. Okay, here we have the eyes. We're gonna use a smirk. I'm thinking it kind of reminds me. Wait, I know you're gonna yell at me at this, but ghetto. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, he has a cute smile. Alright. I don't simp for him, but I think it's actually a cute smile. I've heard lots of people are really sad about the fact that he didn't actually stay friends with Gojo, because apparently the creator really does not like Gojo at all. He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill him off and everything. Why would you kill off your protagonist? I even have a character that isn't my protagonist. She's actually a tragic character, Kyra, who I spent 13 weeks, yes, 13 weeks, not a different week. I spent 13 weeks making her for a actual manga artist who legit ignored me, which I understandably understood, because not all artists are going to do the same idea you have in mind. That's the same time I actually figured out that I then find that I actually liked JJK and everything. So I moved on doing JJK. Because first I did MHA, but then there was the whole dilemma there, and then I started doing my own manga. And yes, my manga is, there's for example Kyra, who I didn't like because she took me 13 weeks. Here's that right, 13 weeks. And I hated her guts so damn much. And I didn't kill her off, I made her existence a little bit more futile than that. That means she gets killed off 9 times almost. And, get this, she has 28 injuries. I won't say what type of injuries, but all you have to know, they have reasons. I have my reasons. The why she gets injured in certain ways. And it's mostly not to talk about the way, because I was mostly thinking, what if we made a protagonist that actually isn't a protagonist in the story? What if there's another protagonist in disguise? For example, Kyra was supposed to be the protagonist until her brother got killed off. This meant that her brother would have been her rival, but due to this, she actually didn't end up being any type of actual protagonist because of Omi's death. Yes, if you don't know who's Omi, Omi had the ability to make it that, I don't remember, wait, what was Omi's ability? I remember lots of characters, I have like 184, so it's very hard to remember all of them. What was Omi's? I think Omi's was ability to actually change how someone sees the situation. I think that was his ability. And then there's also Dr. Akira, who was a father to Kyra. And all you have to get is that Dr. Akira pretty much was a very toxic father to Kyra. And pretty much her environment didn't help her grow. Why did I make it? Mostly because I focused on the fact that here we have Kyra, we see she's struggling emotionally, but there's no one to help her. It's supposed to relate to people who don't get help, and mostly they actually look for the support that they can't get. Why? Because do you think every person in the world actually gets the proper support? No, they do not get the proper support. That's why I was aiming to make a character that was actually relatable, and also because some people can't be helped. That's why Kyra, at the near end, all you have to know is she does not get much character development. She actually loops back to her pain, refusing to actually acknowledge it. Even though there's also the dilemma that her father never clarifies, does he love her or does he not love her? Why is the situation actually called that? Because I was mostly looking to make it more relatable. Because I've had many people who have that situation, and I was actually like, okay. And they were like, oh, some of these characters don't relate to me. And I was like, okay, yeah, I got that notice. And many times, I remember that lots of people are like, oh, you're very apathetic. And I was like, I'm apathetic. And I'm like, I'm trying to not be apathetic. I'll leave you knowing. Because I've many circumstances I remember that one time, my friend actually, there was a friend of mine who actually was supposed to tell me, because I told her, please remind me if you're actually going to say something or do something. Because one of my friends wanted some privacy behind like the actual closed doors. And the thing is, she was actually bugging her and saying, oh, but I care for you and everything. And I said to her, just focus on giving her some space before she can actually recover with her own ordeals, because you don't know what's happening at home. And I was like, focus on actually letting her rest for now, and then you'll see if she goes back. If she doesn't come back, then that's a warning sign. But if she goes back as normal, then that's probably just a sign that she needed some break time from us. And she was like, oh yeah, but I really do care about her. And I was like, I know you do care. You have the best intentions in mind. But you have to focus on the fact that not everyone just wants someone around 24/7 to babysit them. Because if you think about it, some people need their own time to think over and also critique what happens in their life and pretty much process everything that happens around them. You can't just be around them 24/7. They are an adult themselves. They have to process their own emotions. You may try to relate, but you are not relating completely. That's why my aim mostly was to make it that Kano Quest allows also people to look through it and think about which protagonist is their favorite, or how does an antagonist actually relate to them, or if this protagonist relates to them, why does they relate to them, and how come this character relate to them. That means you are not restricted to anything. You can't just say, oh, this person's the villain cause there's always a but the question is, are they really the villain in the end? Because someone can seem like the villain, but sometimes it can turn out that they are somewhat of the hero. Because if you think about it, I have another character named Crazier, and all you have to know is there's the gory thingy scene. I won't say exactly, but it's pretty graphic. It's not really graphic as it's hinting to it. All you have to know is, in the end, because of desperation calls for it, and since his own mother issues, all you have to know he had family issues because his father left him. But the rest you don't have to know, because I would rather not discuss it on here. And you can check my Devinart if you do wish to. But only if you're actually like older than just a couple ages up. But all you have to know pretty much is that I made my manga, and Kotsuya, at the end, he was like 20, I remember. And all you have to know is Cairo was very young at the time, and he mostly was starving, and he didn't have money to actually buy food. Due to this, he actually focused on trying to get food from Cairo, but since Cairo's father is very strict, she couldn't get him food and usually gave him dumplings. But due to a fire, I won't say by who, that's what you have to know, I won't spoil it for you, if you do even check. And pretty much what happens afterwards is, what leads to actually a cute thing, turns out that Cairo eventually forgets about Kotsuya, and his name is Kotsuya. Why? Because Kotsuya, I'll translate here for you, and you'll see what I mean. Kotsuya, the name meaning, you're gonna see what I mean. Kotsuya means Valley of East Wind. And you can see that there's mostly female protagonists, and there's like, for example, we have this girl, I don't know which anime she's from, Toku Project, whichever you know it of. But pretty much, his name is Crazier, and it wasn't inspired by this character or any character. Crazier was only inspired because I didn't have any idea for a name. Then, his last name I actually was inspired by the concept of Binboy. Binboy means poverty or poor, which relates to his actual life. And mostly I was doing this, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to make him more relatable. So I focused on less making him a pitiful mistake than actually doing that. I was mostly focusing on making him a more relatable character, but not also focusing too deep into the life. That means you have to pickpocket everything
Now it's even
and
easier
unpack
to
it
sell
yourself
for free on eBay.
without
I
me
was
actually
thinking,
putting some
maybe I
input in
should
there.
sell that juicer
So you have to
we've
be
used
like,
a grand
oh, okay,
total
this
of
character shows
once.
this.
Or the
How
shirt
do
I've
they
been
show this,
saying I'll
and
wear for the
what
last
does
2
this mean
years,
for
but
the
never
character?
have.
Because
Or
I didn't
that
want to be a
tiger
little
pushing the
nag
dog
and be
box
like, oh
out
yeah,
every
this
time
means
he's
this,
in the
this means this.
lounge.
This
Oh,
is
is that it again?
purely
No, Bertie.
interpretational.
With new
And that means
AI
you can
listing
interpret my work
features
however
and
you
simple
could.
delivery,
For
it's
example,
now
if you
even
see, for example,
easier to sell for
Kotsuya, I
free
don't
on
know,
eBay.
he attacked
Download the app
Kyra,
now.
right?
eBay,
You can
things
consider it,
people
oh, maybe
love.
he has a
T's and
valid
C's
reason,
apply.
or maybe
Excludes
he's just
vehicles.
attacking her because he's fueled by rage. Like, you never know. I can't just, like, spell everything out for anyone, and I'm not gonna spoon feed them the whole information. But all you have to know is pretty much the characters are made and designed to properly explore all the themes in life and explore all sorts of perspectives, even if I didn't live them myself, but have actually heard from others. I actually made it a point to explore it as best as I can, without like oversaturating the whole idea. Because usually you have characters, I will just give a big example. Let's imagine I have a character who looks to be a hero. Let's say Midori Deku. What actually makes him want to be a hero? Is it to save his family? Is it to actually help others in need? Is it because he actually was bullied himself? You have all the coins and boxes ticked off, but what does it actually mean to him? It could mean everything, and multiple things if you think about it. For example, it could mean, he cares about this character dearly, or he cares about becoming a hero because he wants to save others from their own pain. Maybe because he experienced it, or maybe he has experienced misunderstandings before. it's not mostly that we're relying on just a little piece of evidence of being like, oh yeah, I want to be a hero to help others. There must be some deep sense. Why does he want to help others? For example, you have Omni-Man, who was supposed to be, I don't know much about the, like, universe of the Omni-Man and everything, but all I know is a little bit of it, a fraction, and all you have to know that Omni-Man mostly was supposed to, I think it was protect humanity? Wait, let me check, before I actually get myself wrong. Omni-Man, here we go, we have him, he's a comic character, and he's a bit Vermite. And pretty much what says he was a former superhero, adopted the Earth name Nolan Grayson. The rest you can check out yourself. If you're plus 18, just a reminder, it's not for the lighthearted. Nope, let's go out of that because we don't want to see any gory thingies. But all you have to know, it says that he's not purely a villain or hero. There's an example there. You have a villain, non-hero. But most people assume that Invincible is mostly the hero, but who's to say that he's just a complete hero? That's pretty much what I was aiming for Kano Quest as well. Did it inspire Kano Quest? No, it did not inspire. I was mostly inspired by Seven Deadly Sins. If you don't know what that is, was actually a very popular fandom, which I actually adore. It was the first fandom that actually inspired me to be an anime artist, and to be honest, I used to really not like anime fans. Why? Because I thought it was dweebs and I had the whole assumption, but eventually I actually fell in love with actual anime, not literally with the genre, but I actually got interested in the fact that you can be any character. And this is just a little checkpoint, but I am scared of cosplayers, so please do not ever cosplay around me. Because I know that many times, like my sister once even dressed up as a character, and I was so freaked out because she actually dressed up as Mikasa, and I was so freaked out, and I was like, well, that's so freaky dinky, I don't want to look at you. Because for some reason, whenever I look at something, I legit have a deep-seated horror, or rather fear of it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, and it's not maskophobia. I can look at a furry completely normally, I just can't look at a cosplayer. I don't know if it's because it's not natural to me, and I'm mostly thinking, oh yeah, it's not natural for me, and it's probably just really weird. Because I can show you a cosplayer, I just can't look at it on screen. Which means that I actually have a deep-seated horror and fear of it, so if I see anyone cosplaying, it actually freaks the hell out of me. That means if I see a TikTok, I can watch it for like 10 seconds before it actually settles in. The reality that they're probably cosplaying a character, that's not supposed to exist in reality. For example, I remember that in Devinart, I had the first paranoia about it, but then I was like, yeah, they're just playing avatar modes, and then I called my goddamn blues. But I was so freaking paranoid at that time, because I was like, oh my god, they're a character, oh my god. But eventually I was like, cool your blues, baby. They're just actually being the character they like. You don't need to freak out for a second. Consider the possibility that maybe they're not going to, I don't know, eat you alive. So yeah, that actually cooled me down, and I wasn't worrying much about it. That's why I actually, on VR, I remember also that I was just running around, and there was this kid dressed as Knuckles, the little meme, and he said, hey lady, and he was like really smaller than me, and he was like, hey lady, and I was like, what? And he said, do you know the way? And I looked at him, and I was like, no, I don't know the way. Why are you asking me? But it was so legit funny, because I remember my first experience, and it was so freaky dinky, but this experience was actually fun, and also the guy, and I was like, oh, now I'm thinking back to it, I actually wanted to know the guy's name, but I forgot his name. I will animate him, just a quick record, I will animate him. I'm also debating doing Kano Quest recorded version, but I don't know if I'm going to definitely do that. That's a 50-50, I won't be promising anything, because you can let me know in the comments if you want to, or if you don't want to, you can go ahead and skip it. But just for the record, I'm looking to actually do animation more, because I used to do animation when I was really young, but what happened was that I actually quit, because some people said my content actually looked inappropriate, like something inappropriate, like let's say they were saying that it looks like two furries doing something questionable with each other, when it wasn't. I think, I don't know if I can find my old channel, because it was on my actual dad's account. I think maybe I can find it, I don't know. I think maybe. I should be maybe able to find it. But it wasn't, I remember that there was one that I didn't want to marry. I don't know when I actually posted it though. And it's not this one. No. Not this one. I wasn't this much of an expert. I think maybe I can find it. Let's see. Can I find it? I don't know if I can find it. It's like the oldest goddamn thing ever. Let's see. Unwatched. I don't think I'll find it though. But it was such an old animation. I think it was the oldest thing ever. So all these people now you see, they're so freaking talented. 10 times than me, because when I was a little kid, I was just focusing on making horror and everything. Do I regret it? Yes. Do I actually want to go back in time and actually do everything? Yes. Because some people said that it looked inappropriate. All you have to know, it was something like, I'm not going to say that this is the person exactly me, but I'll say that it kind of looked like, my art was kind of like this girl's here, down here. It was kind of like this, in a mix of like, this artist atop here and this one. Yes, I used to do like furries mostly. But I didn't do anything inappropriate. And I remember that a long time ago, YouTube actually got angry because I said the F word. Because I didn't know that F word was not allowed. Because I've seen some YouTube videos that actually use the word, but yet I'm not allowed to. And I was so confused. And I was like, yeah, but you allow these people in. These people, some of these people actually animate or draw something really inappropriate, like webcomics. And then they just get mad because I said the F word. And I was like, what? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to say it. And I was like when I was 14 or 13. And I was so confused at the time. But now, I'm more confused than ever. Because I can't say the F word, so I say, what the heckaroo. And I see that I'm using awful words to substitute what I would have said in the past. So when you hear me now, you'd probably be like, holy moly, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a mad woman. Do I look like I'm the same person? I'm honestly not a sane person if I'm talking in riddles. Talking of riddles, I sound like Slytherin. I sound like that snake. What was that snake's name? Now we're getting sidetracked again. The snake, Harry Potter. I sound like the snake, the serpent of Slytherin. I sound like this thing. Or when Harry Potter kept doing the voice thingy with the snake. I sound exactly like that. Can you imagine hearing this? You probably think I'm insane. But pretty much, I'm actually speaking in riddles because I remember that a long time ago I said something. I said the F word and then they were so angry at that and they're like, oh my god, you said this parent got angry, and I was like, I didn't know. And also this was before the child thingy was invented. If you don't know what I mean, the made for children. Because before this, it didn't exist. Like, a long time ago, it did not exist. I'm letting you guys know. Now, it does exist, but back then, it did not exist. So that means that content was open to many people and many viewers. So, I could even view it. And Incognito didn't actually exist, which meant it was good. But I don't know how the heckaroo someone got behind and actually checked for their parents' account. Because I was like, oh my god. And I was like, I didn't actually mean it for being someone's. And then I had to completely change it. And I ended up deleting all my animation memes at the end. And I left only a couple. Because I was like so angry and everything. And I was like having a breakdown straight away off the bat. And I completely quit on animation because I was like, screw this. If I can't actually do my own thing and I actually can't swear with... Like, I was so confused because at the time, I remember that I used to watch PewDiePie and he was allowed to say everything he wanted. But then it changed a law and I didn't know until like they let me know that the video was really upsetting to a parent and their child because their child probably learned some nasty language. Which I get. Okay, the language is inappropriate, but I did not expect them to do that. And they didn't have it even written until I found out from another YouTube actually video that you're not allowed to say that word. And I had to check a deep check I had to make to actually see if I'm allowed to say any word at all then. That's why I'm really confused. Like, nowadays, you can see that there's a lot of inappropriate content out there in the world. And yet, I get actually yelled at for saying, like, the F word. And I was like, okay, I see how it is. That's why I legit quit doing animation memes. And now I'm reconsidering doing it again. Mostly I was hesitant because people said, oh, your content looks like this. And it looks so inappropriate. And it was this. And I was like, it's not supposed to convey that. Like, I didn't show anything inappropriate. I only had a few characters. Like, I had a character named Ying, and she was actually a fluffy little cat with, like, a white little mane, like Evie, inspiration, mostly. And then she was, like, a young sister of another that was named Yang. I should one of these days animate, and you'll see actually what I mean. Ying was actually the character that, I don't remember which one it was. I think, wait. I'm gonna get Yin and Yang out, and you're gonna see what I mean. Yin and Yang. here you have the like versions. I remember that the character here, the one I think is white, that was actually here. Yin, Yang, this one, the white one, I remember I made the character was really, really positive, but the thing is, the more she actually was separated from her sister, the more she actually became unaware of the dangers in life, and Yin, her darker sister, kept being more and more dragged into the darkness, to the point that she was really aggressive. There was this purple bird that I was mostly inspired to do by, I don't remember what exact bird, but I remember I was really inspired by something, to the point that I actually made it come true. And the problem with that was that I legit made the character and I had a whole story set, and I also had the king that actually tried to get rid of his daughters, and he had a wife, and the wife actually intervened, and which happened, it led to actually her death, which led to actually Yang and Yin being separated due to an alpaca, and yes, this is just a crazy drop of law. But there was pretty much, get it, law, One Piece, and also, legit, I actually made the whole law, and then actually quit because some people were saying that it was really, really like this and this was that. I don't know, because it was some kind of person. It was a really older guy, and he was just like commenting inappropriate things. I remember I kept sending to YouTube and reporting his comment, and they didn't do anything. So let me get this straight. If I'm a 13-year-old who's getting legit told that something's inappropriate, and they're forcing me almost to search it up myself, that's fine. But if I say I'm like a if I say like anything against or say anything inappropriate, it's all of a sudden my fault, and I'm actually the one that actually committed a crime. Like, I don't get it. I was just 13 or 14 at the time. Like, I don't get it. And he clearly saw that it was an animation by a kid. It wasn't actually made by an adult, because I wasn't that talented. Nowadays, I'm a little bit more experienced. I can't say I'm an expert because I'm a garbita, aka garbage artist, because I doubt that I'm actually that skilled. Like right now, what I'm drawing, I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is cool because this is their character. And then if I drew myself, like here you can see, this took like, I don't know, how many hours did it take to draw myself? It's not mostly based on me, because I used to have like this headband that I was sleeping with. And you can see the hairband here on my character, on the PG tuber. I actually had this before it actually had to be thrown away because it was really worn down. So I legit was like, no, I have to throw it away. And if you know me, I'm pretty much a hoarder. So I was really hoarding this object that I have. And yes, I have tons of plushies, anime, and everything. No need to brag. Was I tempted to make a like whole goddamn plushie kingdom? Yes, I was. But pretty much, I remember that I was such a hoarder, and I was like really badly wishing to hoard more stuff, to the point that my whole goddamn closet is filled with plushies now. But yeah, some people are gonna be like, you're like a goddamn bratty child, and I'm like, I know. I'm gonna be like, I know, I admit to everything, every wrongdoing. Just don't undo me. Can we talk about the character? Why does it look like he looks like kind of a Roblox character with a smile? He's like, I'm going to wreck you. I'm enjoying drawing this character. This person made a good idea of making this character. I actually enjoy making him. I'm trying to make the same smile because I like the smile a lot. So I like it. It conveys snarkiness, but I don't think it's gonna work, so I'm probably gonna focus on doing this smile below here. Ta-da! And get this, I'm also supposed to do math each day, and I'm really, really crying about that. I'm like, no, I am just a sick squirm, and I have to do bloody math again. And I'm like, why? I got out of this, and now I'm back into this world. It was so terrifying, bro, because my sir was like last Friday. He was like, guess what, guys? And I was like, whoa, sir. And he was like, guess this. You're going to have math with me every day. And I'm like, oh my Lord Jesus Midas. It was fine. I like him, but the problem is I don't like doing math in the morning. Like the early morning, I can't be asked. You can ask me all you want, but I'm not answering the question. And I doubt I'm going to actually pass my exam. Because, get this, I got a 3, right? And they legit told me, the next thing they tell me, they're like, oh, we expect you to have actually, like, a grade 5. And I'm like, how do you expect me to get a grade 5? I can barely even get a grade 4, and you're telling me to get a grade goddamn this grade, like grade 5. Aren't you asking a little bit too much of me? And Sir's like, oh yeah, we're actually thinking that you might pass your exams. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pass my exams. Because that's the thing, I really don't want to do it again. but they're forcing me to do it, and I'm like, I don't want to though. Because I'm mostly focusing, and I'm actually focusing on doing biology. Once I do biology, I can actually do psychology, sociology, and I'll probably focus on doing maybe English literature, continuing it. If not, I'll actually continue with what I have. I wanted to do sociology because it sounds really fun, and I actually am obsessed with doing psychology stuff. And I also did biology, but my teacher told me a long time ago that I'm not allowed to do it. Why? Because apparently I'm not going to enjoy it. And it was the whole case that I was like, Miss, can I do this? And she was like, no, Victoria, because you won't enjoy it. And I was like, why? And I was like, why can't I do something that I would enjoy? And you're telling me I can't. That is the opposite of what I asked for. And that's the thing, I got a grade 3. I could still do it because I did well in biology. I did garbage in like chemistry, and I didn't want to do chemistry. I wanted to do biology. Because I learned much about the orchids for Kano Quest, because I want to make it also that it's related to diseases, real life diseases, and also it allows people to learn more diseases and about other things, even about poetry, or use it. Because I was thinking, oh, it's so hard. In literature, you are supposed to find something to do your coursework with, right? So I decided to make Kano Quest so it's easier for people to actually find something to properly do. Because for me, I found it really hard to find any coursework, and mostly I ended up asking my teacher, and she told me, oh, Victoria, if anything, you can actually do, let's see, get a cat on a hot tin roof. And I was like, okay. And she's like, any video book you have an idea of? And I was like, The Wasteland. And she's like, is it just because it's about death? And I'm like, no, totally not. It's totally not about death. It's totally not what I chose. And then she ended up being like, okay, yeah, you can choose Wasteland. And I was like, okay, can I get the book? And she's like, you have to buy it yourself. And I'm like, oh, heartbroken.
Now it's even easier
That's
to sell
lots
for
asked
free
of
on
me.
eBay.
And then I had to like
thinking,
go to my
maybe I
parents
should
and I
sell
was like,
that
please
juicer we've
buy
used
me
a
the
grand
book.
total of
I
once.
need the book
Or
for
the
the
shirt I've been saying
education.
I'll wear for the last 2 years.
How long
but
did it
never
take?
have.
It took me 2
Or
weeks to
that
get it, and
tiger
everyone
pushing the
else
dog
already
box
started
out
their
every time he's
coursework,
in
and
the
then I was
lounge.
just behind, and
Oh,
I was
is
like,
that it again?
Miss, can I
No,
do
Bertie.
Frankenstein? And then she was like,
With
yeah,
new
you
AI
pitiful
listing
child,
features
just do your
and simple
Frankenstein.
delivery, it's
You
now
might as well,
even
since you
easier
didn't
to
do
sell for free
anything,
on
and nor
eBay.
were you
Download
even
the app
getting
now.
anything done.
eBay, things people
And I was like,
love.
oh yeah, I
T's and
know.
C's apply. Excludes vehicles.
Everyone else was like ahead of me, and I remember also we did Frankenstein, and Frankenstein we actually did normally. Handmaid's Tale was worse because we had to buy the book. I didn't have the book again. I mean, the teacher was so pitiful of me, and I also wanted to get the paper, but then eventually she ended up being like, Victoria, if anything, I'm gonna give you this book. And then she gave me a book of Handmaid's Tale to borrow, and I actually noted some notes down, and then in the end she actually said, oh, actually you can keep the book with you. And I was like, why? And she's like, because there's no point of you copying the notes back into your new book. And I was like, okay. I was like, fair enough. But it ended up that I originally wanted to actually print it out because it was for free. And my teacher was really upset about that because she said that it's better with the hardcover than without the hardcover. Was I crying in inside? Yes. Were people laughing at me? Yes. Check on everyone. But in the end of the day, I did get my actual proper, I'll repeat that, my proper actual book because I got it from the teacher. It was really pitiful of me. She literally looked at me, she was like, oh great, another child, and she was like, just take the book. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, thank you, man. This is my book for life now. Did I give it back? Yes, I ended up giving it back because then I actually caught up with doing the notes. Luckily, we didn't actually do the whole book yet, and I still had time to actually do the rest of the notes. Did I end up writing lots of notes? Yes. Did I enjoy Handmaid's Tale? Yes, because I got to read it. And whenever I read it, my own friend was like, Victoria, shut up! You're so loud reading it. And I'm like, no. I'm enjoying myself too much. Shush yourself. Silencio el Bruno. And what ended up being hard though, I actually was really loud, and I purposely did it because I was like, you know what, since I actually am in this topic, I might as well actually get on with reading it out loud. Did people look at me and be like, oh my god, first time she's confident and actually reading it properly? I'm like, yes. And guess what? I'm going to do a fake accent. But get this. The saddest part is I think in Frankenstein, I don't remember which one. I think in one of them, I was the maid. Yes, you heard that right. I was the maid. I was the saddest maid ever. I think in Handmaid's Tale, I might have been in Mexican. Not that is it the Mexican woman I was? I think I was the Mexican woman. I didn't want to be offensive though because I did a different voice. Because I'm not personally Mexican. I think it's the Mexican woman. I might have been. Oh, but I was I wish we actually did it for Othello. Wait, can I actually read My Fair Fellow? Let's read My Fair Fellow. I think it was Robin. And the Robin part was like, if you read the Robin quote, no, we don't need to see this. This is the Robin song. Willow song, there you go. And, not Robin, it's Willow. Willow. There we go. Wait, is this actually the thing? The poor soul sat sighing by a skymore tree, single a green willow, with her hand on her bosom, her head on her knee. Single a green willow, 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 willow. Single a green willow, Mark Arnold shall be. She sighed in her singing and made a great moan. Single a green willow, I'm not dead to all pleasure, my true love is done. The mute bird beside her was tamed by her. This and then single the green willow. But I think I'll continue the drawing tomorrow. If anything, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll continue with the drawing as normal. But I hope you actually like it so far. We'll continue tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.